put up by
my son, my oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
and love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half of the down payment for it. After we gave you the half of the down payment for it, and you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point, and I'm negotiating the deal with the dealer for you as you sit there. And you have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out when you're expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother. You're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father, where you spoke ill to him, not to mention spoke ill to your mother, but somehow your mother and father and I all have a loving relationship and communicate back and forth because of the love that we have for you. The one thing these individuals, and to the individuals out here that oftentimes speak after they've heard one side of the story, there's an old saying, believe half of what you see and none of what it is that you hear. Please don't take our word for it, but
I think it's a major red flag when your kids don't fuck with you. Like, your kids don't want nothing to do with you. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want nothing to do with you either. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not talking about like your teenage daughter that's going through puberty. I'm talking about when your kids are grown, when they are adults and they're able to think for themselves. The person who spent the most time with you has grown up and concluded that they want nothing to do with you or their kids. That says a lot. And this is something that I've noticed about parents who are not in contact with their kids. A lot of times the parents will overcompensate with their younger children or with children that they have in other relationships. And I notice that it always happens with the oldest. Pay attention. The oldest child is always the one who knows where the bodies are buried. That's the one who's been through the most with their parent. Will Smith, 50 Cent, Brian McKnight, Monique, they all fall out with their oldest. So once they fall out with the oldest, that's when they want to overcompensate and do this performative bullshit with the younger kids. Almost like they trying to rewrite history or something. Whenever I see somebody only posting one of their kids, especially when they only post the youngest, that tells me everything I need to know. Like, all that sweet, beautiful babies bullshit, all that shit is performative at this point. They always want to talk about honor thy parents and honor thy mother and father. Bitch, honor your fucking kids. And until you do so, this will be your karma.
Okay, so I watched Monique responds to her son post, and what I get out of it may be totally different than what a whole lot of other people get out of it. So hear me out, okay? So, of course, her and her husband was responding to what he said. And like she said, let it play out. I say let it play out too, because I listen to words, and like they said, I listen to what is said, okay? And what the husband said was the things that they did the last time they saw him. He didn't say, you know, what we got for our grandchild. He said what we got for your newborn. Okay? He didn't say that. He didn't say what we got for your grandbaby, for our grandbaby. He didn't say that. See, words mean a lot of things. And this is why I say, when he said not about money, it's not about money. He stated that. But yeah, we just gonna let it play out because I feel like Monique and Kat gonna bump heads. Okay, just let it play out. Just let it play out.
So I want to come on and talk real quick about Monique's son, Shalon Jackson. He came out today with his statement about his mom and how they've been estranged for years. After I saw Monique on Club Shay Shay, I said something is not right. I kept saying that. Two things can be true. She could be telling the absolute truth about Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry and all the things that happened to her. But something is toxic in how she tells her story. She wants to know why people responded better to Taraji than her, because Taraji does not exhibit toxicity. Ever since she married her husband, it's been, her career has been downhill. And then calling him daddy, people thinking that that's her real daddy until they see him. They're like, he's not her daddy. It's her husband, who she calls daddy because she says he's raising her. Two things can be true. You can be a narcissist or a sociopath and feel like somebody else has done you wrong. Somebody has some mental illness up in there. Anytime you running across a stage talking about suck my you know what and you don't have one and you're a female, just very toxic with how she communicates and all that. My sweet baby and all my babies, all how that's all manipulative. It's all manipulative. That woman is a master manipulator. And I just don't, I think that there's a reason why she's in the situation that she's in, because I believe in energy, and the energy, you can, like the law of attraction is, if you're putting out good energy and being good, good is going to follow you. If you're being problematic and toxic, that's what your whole life is going to be surrounded in. And that's what's happening with her. Just kind of similar to like Donald Trump, like like I'm seeing narcissistic, sociopath type behavior. But I wish everybody well. I'm just saying what I see, and with a little wisdom from my little 55 years of living. But I wish everybody healing, and I hope they can get better. But I believe her son.
Auntie, we were rooting for you. I'm not sure if y'all saw, but Monique's beautiful eldest son, Shalon, came out with a video pretty much talking about his experiences with his mother. And instead of just like privately handling the matter, calling her son potentially, I'm not sure what steps were involved before her and her husband got to the internet, but they got to the internet. Now, I don't believe at all that this takes away from the things that she has experienced in the business. And I didn't watch that video with her and her husband because I think it's just cringe to me how people just jump on the internet versus like going straight to the source. And I'm not talking about her son, because I feel like her son was allowed to address that in public because the relationship that she said that she had with her son, or the lack thereof, was addressed in public. My question is that, do people think that just because they spent money on you that's parenting? I heard a couple of parts of the live that were unsavory for me, which is why I didn't watch the full video. And one of the things that Monique's husband was like alluding to was like, remember when we helped you with this, and remember when we gave you this, and remember when you needed this for your car, you needed a cosigner or whatever it is. And I was just thinking to myself, like, one, why would you say that out loud into the public? And number two, why would you think that that's parenting? I don't understand this concept of like money spent being equivalent to parenting, being present, love, support. Monique, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
Ain't no way Shalon ain't a Capricorn, baby. Oh my God. Let's chit chat about Monique's oldest son. Because you standing in your truth don't mean you operating in love. So this is one of the many DMs that I got about your girl, Miss Monique Angela. And it says, I can't speak for DL, but I'm from Baltimore, and my blank used to work for Monique at her comedy club. And that woman is a different kind of nasty towards her own people. I'll move out the way. You can pause to read the rest. The way that she goes above and beyond to purposely hurt people is unnecessary. And I'm not even talking about celebrities. I'm talking about real, everyday, average working class people. And when Monique was on Club Shay Shay, she told us that the family dynamic was shaky. So what Shalon had to say was not surprising. It was just heartbreaking. The man wrote down what he had to say so that it did not come across as rambling. And one of the things that got to me is he said that when he had a kid, he wanted that kid, his daughter specifically, to have a relationship with their grandmother. And his intrusive thoughts tried to win, saying that, like, if she didn't want a relationship with you, why would she want one with her kid? And it turned out that it was just truth, not intrusive thoughts, because Monique didn't want to have nothing to do with him or his daughter. Stop. He said, leave him out of it. I know you're talking to Club Shay Shay, but you don't have no real desire to have no relationship with me, and I don't have no real desire to have no relationship with you. So let's stop talking about it. You got 3 other sons. They don't have the relationship with you that I have, or the lack thereof. So why don't you just go over there and focus on being a great mom to them 3 kids? Because this ain't that and that ain't that. Family is hard. Being the oldest kid is even harder, so I understand it. But what I do want to say is that Cat Williams got 249 kids, and we ain't never heard from them. So I want to say people had a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions. I ain't never got no on DM. We ain't never seen nobody come out the woodworks on Cat Williams.
Monique's son said something that toxic parents never seem to understand. To repair the relationship, the parent must be willing to do most of the heavy lifting. Ain't no meet me halfway or when you're ready, I'm here, when you haven't done enough work to build, not regain. Trust and consistency. You are the parent. You messed it up. You got to do the work of showing me you want to fix it. And a lot of folks want to say, well, the parent is human. Forgive them. Okay, the child is human too. And I'm not trying to hear, oh, well, the child is grown now, they need to move on. No, because how that child was raised directly shapes their future. And yes, they can do the work now, therapy and whatever, but those childhood wounds and that grieving process of losing that parent in that way is not going to just go away. A lot of y'all are so cold-hearted that you're just willing to say fuck everything and everybody, but a lot of us is not like that. We want to understand why. We want a better life for ourselves. So we definitely go back, look in the mirror, go back and look in the past to see where things went wrong. And a lot of it went wrong with our parents. A lot of these parents don't want to put in the work to properly regain a relationship with their child. They feel like the child has to always do the reaching out, and it's like, bro, I'm not going to just forgive you just because you feel like you should be forgiven. I want an explanation. I want an apology because you were wrong. Human to human, you were wrong.